Can you trust the welds that this cheap Harbor Freight welder makes? I owned it for about 6 years and I put a lot of things together. When you pay $90 for it, you would think that I would not be able to put two sticks together. But it seems to be a very reliable product. Yes, it makes very ugly welds because of the flux core wire. But I've put about 20 spools through it, and I've been creating quite few projects that required finesse and durability. Let me show you one. It's good enough to be able to put a stand for a motorcycle that attaches in the back of the car. This is something that I've welded together on the back of a Toyota Yaris to be able to haul my bike left and right here in town without spending money for one that is sold in the store. Not to mention that this car didn't have the right hitch size for it, so I had to weld something under the car to keep all together. And here it is. I trusted with my most trusted possession, my motorcycle, which is worth about $5,000, and still today this thing is holding in the back of the car with no problem whatsoever. So if you still have doubts that this welder cannot put things together that will hold, you are quite wrong. For a non-professional, these things work really well, and even though it has a kind of like a quirky use time, it's 15-6. You could use it for 15 minutes in a 16-minute-hour period before it overheats and it stops. You have to understand that a lot of times you're doing measurements and cuts and stuff like that. So very rarely I overheated it to a point where it just stopped working and I had to give it another 5 minutes or so to cool off before I could use it again. The only time I had an issue with it is that the fan actually got stuck. Got a little bit rusty, so it just didn't really move very well. Actually, it stopped completely. So the thing was overheating a lot more often than usual. I went in and sprayed a WD-40 on the fan, and then it still works today with no problem whatsoever. I didn't have to change a part. As you can see, this clamp over here has been used a couple of times. I ran it over with my motorcycle and my car, and it still holds pretty well today. And this part over here, I don't know how many times I dropped it on the ground, and nothing is really broken. It looks like the first day I got it, including the tip. I've never changed the tip. Even though they give you a new tip in the package, I've never really changed the tip on it. Seems to be working really well. Never had any issues. So if you're a professional, you want to make pretty welds, this is not the welder for you, because it will require a lot of cleanup, but it will put good welds together to hold a mighty bicycle or motorcycle behind your car. If you want to go and spend $1,000 for the one that has the argon gas and all the other stuff, this is not why I'm making this video. I'm just trying to prove a point. Even a $90 Harbor Freight cheap flux core welder, it will be able to put the things together that you need. And maybe if I'm gonna get more pro later on and I'm gonna need it for bigger projects, maybe I'll go and spend extra money for the more expensive ones. But for now, this $90 one does all the things that I need, and that's all I care. I welded gates around I welded a trailer for myself. I welded the rear rack for the motorcycle in the back of the car. None of the welds broke, nothing fell apart. Yes, it doesn't make the prettiest welds in the world, but a little bit of a grinder and there's some paint on top, and who really cares? If the welds look is so important to you and you're a professional, you're watching the wrong video. This is not for you. This is for people that just want to have a welder around the house, get a little bit of experience welding, and maybe if you're going to use it once in a blue moon, this is really how much you want to spend. Why would you spend $1,000 for an argon gas tank that might leak or create other problems later on? Storing it's going to be a lot harder when you could just get this and it will just do the same job. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think at the bottom of the video. I'm kind of curious.